I'm joined now by Professor Noel Ferguson, Executive Director and Dean at the World Leadership Institute. A very good afternoon to you, Prof. Thanks very much for your time. Is Kamala Harris making the strides that Democrats claim, and of course many pundits claim she's actually making?
Oh, is she making the strides? Well, up until recently, it was considered to be a two-horse race where it was going to be the likes of Biden and Trump, and of course it's now Harris and Trump. But it's not a two-horse race. I mean, up to now, it's been a derby. There's been other runners in the race, and it is those potential third runners that Kamala Harris is trying to take away their votes from this point on. So you're looking at the likes of the Kennedys and all of those other people who could kind of hold on to the swing votes. She is now going after those. But the thing that makes the whole thing interesting for me at the moment is that there's actually a lot of similarity between the Republican and the Democrat kind of candidates, because if you look at the VP picks now, they're both kind of veterans. They both have military service. So neither of them have dodged the opportunity to serve their country. Whenever you look at the presidential candidates, they both wear makeup and they both wear hairspray. And that's the same for both of them. But if you actually break it down and look at the differences in them, Trump is still trying to take America back again to where it was. Kamala Harris is very much future looking and wants to affect change. And that's where she's starting to gain that lead, because she's starting to gain the potential votes of those people who have been frustrated by the lack of reproduction rights, the draconian kind of views in terms of gun laws, in the sense that anybody can have ownership, and also around healthcare. And it seems to be very much the black vote and the women's middle class vote where she is getting that lead.
But what are the matrix that are propelling her forward, that which those which a Joe Biden would not have been able to
Great question. Yeah. I mean, one of the questions is, did Biden leave it too late before he stood down? And if you actually look at Biden's approval ratings in the past number of weeks, they've gone up by 6%. So it seems the population are glad he has actually made that choice. But it really has Trump against the ropes, because where Trump was able to say, Joe Biden is too old, he's coming in firm, his intellect isn't as sharp as it used to be, he's way too old. Now you have Kamala Harris, who is 59, 2 decades younger than Trump. So all of the arguments that he was using against Biden can now be flipped around against Trump. And some of the other areas, of course, we know that Kamala Harris was a state prosecutor, and she sees herself now as the kind of prosecutor against the felon. And, it's come out recently that the whole population in America really wants to see honesty and trustworthiness returned to politics, and also in the president. So Kamala Harris really does have an edge here. She's got the energy, she's got the momentum, and I think she has a real chance at becoming the first female president, and also the first, you could say, black president, and also the first Indian president. And this is another area of weakness for Trump, his inability to understand or empathize with the background of his opponents. We've seen him turn around a few weeks ago and said, is Kamala Harris, is she black or is she Indian? The whole audience was aghast at that situation. But of course, she's neither half black or half Indian. She's both black and Indian. And because of that, she's gaining kind of following in those audiences in the States.
Is it also a question of or is it, maybe I should say, is it a question of Trump regressing, or is it a question of Harris surging past Trump?
I think it's not so, well, certainly Trump is standing still. He's using the same rhetoric as he has done over the past 8 years. But the point is, all of his followers, they just lap that up. They will continue to want that. They'll thrive on that. They want more of that. But by him continuing with that message, or as you say, regressing, those swing voters will look at him and go, you know what? He hasn't moved at all. Here's Harris. She's looking towards the future. She's being progressive. She's maybe wanting to take the country somewhere where I want the country to be, not somewhere in the past where somebody else wants it to go or return to. Now, if Trump were elected, he is coming into a whole world full of different problems than what he had whenever he was previously president. And he has no solutions for the current circumstance. Even his, I think it was his security advisor, Adam Bolton, has turned around and said, Trump, he can't hold a thought for more than 5 minutes, even, 2 minutes, and then he's on to something else. Harris is very strategic. She looks at attention to detail, and they are strengths which Trump does not have. And we've seen that evidence through the likes of the coronavirus pandemic, in 2020.
Let me take you back. Let me end back where you started, when you pointed out that there's a lot in common between Republicans and Democrats. Should nation states like ours even care?
Sorry, the nation states such as South Africa should what? Sorry, I didn't quite.
I mean, should countries like ours care? Who wins,
what happens?
Harris or Trump?
The thing is, all countries should be prepared for whatever the outcome is. So we know that Trump will be isolationist. He really wants to make America great again, and to heck with everybody else. You can go and do your own thing. Whereas, if Kamala Harris gets into the presidency, she will be more outward-looking, engaging with foreign policy. But if anything, it indicates to all states that you cannot depend on your traditional colleagues or collaborators. You need to be able to deal with the environment, no matter what it happens to be, and be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity or prepared to look elsewhere. Certainly, Trump is going to be full of inconsistencies, unpredictability in a turbulent global environment. So in some ways, it's maybe good that he would regress, because he could probably do more harm than good if he decided to have a foreign policy. His focus will be on the home ground, and the likes of South Africa and other nation states, they can do whatever they want. He's expressed this around the likes of NATO and Ukraine. They can go and do whatever they want. He's not there to stand up for anybody except for himself.
Professor Ferguson, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. We're going to take a quick ad break. More news, views, and interviews after this short ad break. Don't go away.